Why does all life eventually lead to death? This is a question we all know, yet none of us truly understand. In fact, it is not just life. The Earth and even the entire universe are born to die. This is a fundamental law of the universe that no one can change. 500 million years ago, in the distant M742 galaxy, a conscious entity once asked the captain, "What is the ultimate end of the universe?" The answer was, entropy. What is entropy? This concept is extremely powerful, yet not so easy to grasp. In the early 19th century, physicists discovered that the driving force behind the world is energy, and they successfully identified the law of conservation of energy, that the total amount of energy remains constant. But one problem remained unsolved. Energy can never be 100% converted. They tried millions of methods but could never reduce energy loss to zero. Therefore, they called that portion of wasted energy that cannot be reused during conversion entropy. Later, this concept was summarized as the second law of thermodynamics. Energy conversion will always produce entropy. This means that perpetual motion machines can never exist in this world. To put it more simply, entropy can be thought of as the degree of disorder. The second law of thermodynamics states that all things eventually tend toward maximum entropy. In other words, without the intervention of external force, things will always develop toward a more chaotic state. Why do cars break down more easily when left idle? Why do houses get dirtier when not cleaned? Why are the good things in this world fragile? As the saying goes, beautiful clouds scatter easily, and glass is prone to shatter. It is because maintaining a good or ordered state always requires energy. Without energy input, that state will end. Life is the same. When a life is born, its entropy value begins to slowly increase. The food we consume to sustain life is the energy used to resist the rise of entropy. In other words, from beginning to end, you are constantly resisting death. You can only try your best to slow down the rate of entropy increase. You cannot stop it entirely. When the entropy value reaches a certain critical threshold, life reaches its end. What you can control is only the speed. Similarly, human civilization is no different. From the time our ancestors first learned to use fire to the high-speed technological progress of today, in a certain sense, human society may not necessarily be becoming more progressive or civilized. On the contrary, humans, like everything else in the universe, will eventually become increasingly disordered and chaotic. Why is this? The invention of high technology and the use of new energy sources are actually just different ways to suppress the accumulation of entropy. We need energy for the world to develop stably and orderly, and this comes at a cost, such as waste pollution, global warming, species extinction, and so on. Physicists tell us that entropy can never be eliminated. We can only make a local part of the system orderly by transferring the chaos elsewhere. From the moment scientists discovered entropy, it foreshadowed that life cannot achieve immortality. All things tend toward chaos. From the moment of the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago, the universe began developing toward disorder. From tiny lives to massive celestial bodies, it seems everything has been preordained. The critical threshold for each thing is different. In the natural world, a mayfly lives for only 2 days, while a turtle can live for hundreds of years. On a celestial scale, the sun's lifespan can reach 10 billion years. 100 years is fleeting for the universe, but for humans, it seems long enough. According to the law of increasing entropy, the universe will also die at some point in the future. What kind of energy ultimately controls entropy? What lies beyond the universe? Perhaps we will never have the answers,